So I want to share with you in this video some very valuable information. So you may want to get a pencil and paper or pad and write some of this information down because it can be game changing for you. It can change the way that you look at trading the future markets altogether. When I first started trading, I struggled with understanding how to read the flow of the market structure. That was extremely important. So take this information, the knowledge in which I'm going to share with you today about trading futures, okay, because it could change the way, the whole outlook of everything that you do going forward. There are a couple of things that you're going to need to understand if you want to tackle and become successful or profitable trading futures. All right, maybe you have a goal of making $500 a day, $1,000 a day, or maybe some of you just want to make an extra income stream of just like $250 a day. It is very doable, and you can make a lot more than that by simply scalping. Okay, some people like to do what's called swing trading or position style trading, holding trades through. I like to take 1 to 2 quality setups and be done. There's no sense to staying in the market all day long or basically putting on a trade, and the longer that you're into a trade, your stress level kind of builds up because you got to keep constantly going back and forth between your charts to see if a trade is working out or not, if you're in drawdown. So I find the best way to trade, and the simplest way, is to really just scalp. Get in at a high probability or quality area of supply or demand, and then take your entry, your shot, exit where you need to take profit at, and if you get stopped out, you just live to see the next trade. Okay, I talked about in a couple of videos, well, a few days ago, I talked about a video and specifically about the 5%, the 6% rule. A lot of people, I'm telling you, if you stick to that rule that has everything to do with risk management, you can find yourself to becoming profitable, even trading a micro futures account. You can build up and compound a small account by doing so if you know how to trade the correct way. Now, what do I mean? Okay, I want to share some things with you that I've learned over the last 14 years of my trading career. My first 2 years, I was not successful or pretty much profitable at all. It was hit or miss. I did not blow an account because I'm going to say this right now. I had very, very limited amount of funds, or very small account to start with. So I was just scalping just for a couple of ticks and getting in and out. Again, with experience, you learn where to take your trades to, where to take profit at. You also know where to place your stop loss at. So it takes time. The better you get, it's just like, you become more seasoned, become more wise. So this information will carry you through and help you become more successful or profitable if you pay strict attention to what I'm going to say. First and foremost, you have got to understand the flow of the market. Educate yourself on market structure. What is the market doing as you're following it through? It doesn't matter which particular futures market that you're actually trading. As long as the market is making higher highs and higher lows, look to go long. If it's doing that in inverse of making lower lows and lower highs, breaking structure, only look for opportunities to go short. I talk about this in so many videos across the channel here. Trade in the direction whatever your higher time frame that you may use is actually moving. Okay, just as a key example, if we are bullish to the upside, I am only looking for key pullbacks to key areas of demand, breaking structure, pulling back, breaking here to back to the upside, demand right here. We got a breaking structure above, demand right here. So as long as the market is making higher highs and higher lows, then be looking to go long. All right, forgive me for the background noise. My dog was in the background barking. So like even right here, we broke structure above these highs here, pull back, key area of demand. A lot of people, they have a hard time. Oh, I see a beautiful area of demand. It's aggressive buying. The market's coming back to it. Let me get into the trade, right? But what they do is they try to hold it through thinking that the market's going to go way back up here to the highs. It's not always going to do that, especially if you notice price action. I always tell people, pay attention to price action as it's retracing or coming back to your zone. Lower highs, making pullbacks to a key area, say, of demand right here. You got to understand this is supply right here, at least an area of resistance where the market can hold up to. So if I get into this trade right here, which I'm not saying I'm getting into the trade off my higher time frame, I'm showing you in reference, this is where we need to start as traders, using whatever higher time frame you may be using to understand which way to trade. So in this point here, I'm looking for opportunities to go long because we're bullish to the upside until the market starts to reverse to where, let's say, This is a shoulder, a head, a shoulder pattern. Then we start breaking structure lower. Then I will be looking for opportunity to go short. All right. Once we reverse back to the downside here. How long will a reversal last for? We never know that as traders. Understand that. Okay. Once it starts breaking structure back to the upside, then that's when we shift from being bullish back to bearish, looking for opportunities to sell, back to bullish to the upside, breaking structure, pull back, go long. Okay. So if you know anything about structure and how the market actually moves, let me show you a key example here in a diagram. We'll look at this. You'll see where the market is making moves like this on most days, okay? When they're making higher highs and higher lows to the upside, okay? And then there could be pullbacks where the market may pull back. Let's say this was a break of structure above this area, and you're looking for a key area where there's a demand zone resting right here. If it comes back there and you get the rejection, you go long, right? Same thing here. You took the market broke structure, look for a pullback to a key area of demand. That demand zone can be resting right here to go long. You could aim for the highs, but what I talk about most times is if there are imbalances that need to be filled back to the upside, once you get to take a trade or are interested in taking a trade off of a key area of demand, then look for them to fill those areas. But let's say, for example, that this was, again, our high. There was a demand zone resting here, but the market starts to do this right here, coming back down as it's retracing to our demand zone. Okay, now we got a breaker structure coming lower. We have basically this could be a supply zone, and then the market taps into our demand zone right here. I'm only going to take that trade back up to that area of supply right there, okay? If we have gaps, candles, or imbalances coming to the downside in between with our imbalances tapping into the demand zone, right back up to the supply zone, I'm getting out. I'm not going to aim for this high because now this could be a setup to where now we've got our first low, lower high, and the market maybe want to try to reverse to the downside. So let's say it does. Now we got a new low here, broke structure to the downside, taps into the supply area, and now we got a push lower. Now this is a reversal right here. It's made its first run to the downside where it broke structure, and now it's taking on structure to the left as well. This is a full-on reversal to the downside, so I'll be looking for pullbacks to key areas of supply at this point here to go short. Once I go short, what I'm going to be aiming for, okay? As long as we don't have where price action is making higher highs, higher lows, okay? So we're, making a high, higher low, and then breaking up and then tapping our supply area. As long as we don't have that going on and we have like a clean slate shot back to the upside, where we have aggressive buying right back up to that area, and this is a supply zone, I'm going to be aiming for the low here to be taken out back to the downside. Or, I'm going to follow closely with price action. If we have multiple imbalances coming back down, maybe getting out right at the actual low back here, okay? So you have to look for clean quality setups when it comes to trading. That's one of the things that I failed at my first 2 years in trading, and that was why I was not successful or consistently profitable day to day to day. It wasn't until after about 2 years later when I started struggling, just thinking that the strategy is going to do it all for me. No, it's not, guys. I don't care what strategy you actually trade. You have to get the direction correct of the market, and that comes with reading and understanding the structure of the market and paying close attention to price action. So take heed to that. Write that down. Educate yourself. Number one thing that you need to understand and master is market structure. I don't care how many more things I talk about after this. That is the number one essential thing. Because think about it. If you fail to understand which way to really read the market, or understand which way to trade the market, how are you going to trade the market correctly? And how is that going to lead to you becoming consistently profitable if you're trading against the grain? You never want to be trading against what the banks and institutions are doing, because they have the money to push the market. They create the volume within the market. We don't. Okay, as retail traders, all right? I don't care how much money you have. You never have as much money as the banks and institutions do. So we cannot and we will not be able to push and pull the markets, okay? So just understand that structure is everything, and please yourself and learn that simple concept. Now, after that, you may want to start looking into, which platform am I going to use? Which broker am I going to use? That's a big factor as well. You can write that down just, as a side note, because you want to really limit the amount of money that you overall spend on a monthly basis, whether it's for the platform or your broker commission fees, things of that nature, your data, your clearing fees, everything comes into the picture. So you want to find a low cost or inexpensive broker to where you're not being charged a whole lot of money when it comes to commissions, because that does add up, all right? Now, I would say definitely limit the amount of trades you take. I'm telling you this as a big piece of advice, because the fact is that when you start doing that, let's say you take one bad trade on the day, and your part of your trading plan is one a day, I'm done, whether I win or lose. Okay, let's say you lose that trade, right? if you know how to trade correctly and you have a key or specific risk margin, which you're looking to use for each trade, say 5%. I'm not willing to risk more than 5% of my account, which is very smart. That's how you're going to compound and build an account, because you're going to keep yourself in a strict regiment. You're going to follow a strict set of guidelines or rules in your trading plan, and that's going to help you win more than, you know, really losing. Okay, even if you take a loss, you're still winning, because you're not, like most people do, get involved in major drawdown thinking the market's going to turn back around. You take a small loss, get out, try to make it back up on the second trade. If you win on the second trade, call it a day. Whether you make money or break even, live to trade again the next day. That's the way professional, that's the way smart traders trade. We don't win them all. Okay, even in my videos, you see me take trades, I get into them, I get out, I exit real quick, and sometimes I take little losses when it comes to on my trades, because not all times will the market come back and clear me and break even and get out of a trade. So yeah, I mean, you have to know really where to get in and get out of a trade. So just make sure you know when it comes to your cost of getting wanting to set up and start trading futures. And I wouldn't even start. You can start looking and researching that information, but I wouldn't really start setting those things up until you are ready, you've educated, you've done some, well, I'll say back testing, because you really do need a platform first to be able to get onto the charts and really start back testing. So yeah, you know, you can do demo and simulation that way as well. But regardless of the fact is, I wouldn't start putting money into my live account and, you know, depositing that way until you're ready. And you know you're ready when you start back testing a specific strategy and forward testing this as well in demo and simulation. And you have days on end or weeks on end where you're consistently profitable. Okay. Now, you know, the next important thing is really having a key strategy. Okay. Now I talk about one here on my channel that I use personally, all surrounding multi-chart confluence. Confluence is everything. Confluence gives you the confirmation that you need to really get into key setups that are going to help you become successfully profitable. Will every trade work out? No. So that's where you, as a trader, also need to know where to place your profits, where to place your stop, especially so that you can, you know, minimize your loss within the markets. That is the thing that is the most important part of trading, is managing your risk. Okay, that's why I've talked about in a couple videos ago, I think it was on Saturday, just past Saturday, about the 5% rule again. Okay, and a couple people had DM me and said they are slowly starting to use that same strategy or plan themselves, using the 5% risk rule, whether you trade in micros or the E-mini futures. And they're already saying, hey, this is working out for me. Yeah, because I mean, you're really only risking like 12.5 points, which is 50 ticks on a day. Trade the micros especially, and you can build up an account just slowly scalping, you know, away. You can definitely do this and make an easy $500, whether it's weekly or especially on a daily basis if you're trading the E-mini futures. The strategy and how I trade, again, is all surrounding confluence. I'm looking and marking up my higher base charts first. All right, whether it's supply or demand, and then I'm moving down or scaling down to a lower base chart. If you want more information about the strategy, please spend some time watching the video content, because I specifically, I'm almost talking about the strategy probably 98%, 99% of the time in most videos. I'm breaking it down, trying to get people to understand how the strategy actually works. We have a great community of traders that use it. Now, some of them may not use range charts, because I trade range charts. Some people use time-based charts. I always talk about whatever charts work for you, you know, trade them. Okay. The strategy, but a lot of them may use time-based charts, for example, and they're using the same strategy. It's just that they found a way to be able to use the same strategy, because supply and demand is universal. So you don't have to trade it just on range charts. You can trade on tick, volume, whatever works for you. I specifically like trading the range charts because they're cleaner to the eye to me, and I can read the flow of the market better, and I'm able to see the momentum and the volume coming in when I need to. Okay. So whatever you're used and comfortable trading, trade that style or type of chart. Okay. Now, when it comes to the strategy as a whole, again, I'm marking up my higher time frame chart first, my 120 range chart, and then I'll move down to a lower base chart. So I'll mark up my first zone depending on the direction of the higher time frame chart. Now, here's the thing. Now, not all times will the market come right back to a high probability zone on the higher time frame chart, because you're using higher time frame charts. You can still scale down and trade on your lower time frame chart. People always ask me this. is it possible to trade directly from the 24 range chart, the entry chart? That's the chart that I trade from and place my entries from. Yes, but always make sure you are moving with the direction of the higher time frame. So again, if you want more valuable information surrounding the strategy itself, where I break things down, definitely watch some of the video content here. I mean, lots of the videos, I have enough information here that where you can basically educate yourself if you spent the time watching and taking notes. All right, I will say that now. Now, there's also a elite community. If you're interested in joining, it's like pennies on the dollar a day, to where I discuss my trades. Okay, so I'll go back and I break them down to that community in detail, so you understand the setup, so you understand structure, so you understand price action, so you understand what I was looking at when I took these trades, or what I was looking for when I took these trades, as where to take profit at and where to place your stop at. I talk about that in so many videos, okay, to the elite members. But you also get like the video playlist. You also get the market structure video that I went into great detail of. So there's two different tiers. You have the elite, the general elite supporter tier, and then you have the ultra elite supporter tier. The link is down in the description portion of the video. Depends on you which one you want to join, if you want to join. But again, what you receive if you wanted to join just the general elite tier, the trade breakdowns, the video playlist, and the market structure video. If you want to become an ultra elite, that's where you also receive, in addition to what I just said, you also get the live recorded trading sessions where I'm doing my full length or my video content, to where I'm recording my trades as I'm trading throughout the session. Okay, and I post those trades over on our Discord, but I go back as well, and you can watch me trade live. Okay, I just record it so you can watch me, because I go into detail talking about what I'm looking at when the market's open during the New York session, okay, while I'm trading. But you also receive the market recap videos where I go back and I do a recap on the day of what the market looked like, what I possibly, not say missed because I don't trade the afternoon session, but if there were opportunities that I didn't see, I kind of go back through it and say, yep, this was an opportunity for a demand setup or supply setup. But the most important thing is understanding structure. So I'll walk you through, even in the market recap videos, talking about structure. So if you want to become an elite member, the link is down in the description portion of the video. It's up to you. You can make the choice to become an elite member, or you can become just a basic elite member, or become a ultra elite member. Just depends, up to you again. Now, this is how I go about scalping each and every day on the markets, because again, I'm not a position or swing style trader. I'm simply just looking for setups on the higher time frame, market up that way if we get them. If not, I'm moving down and scalping directly supply and demand zones off of the lower time frame 24 range chart. Okay, but again, if I'm using my higher time frame, I'm looking for that confluence. This is a breaker structure, market up, move down to my 24 range, see if I can find a zone within this higher time frame zone. Same thing, I'm going, and from there I'm going long. Okay, just like right here, let's say that the market was moving lower, we were breaking structure to the downside, we got a push down, pullback, broke structure below here and here. This is a key pullback to an area of supply right here. I would be interested in going short from this area, because it's a valid area of supply. I would just move down to a lower time frame to find or catch an entry point. But again, if the market is really moving, not all times will we have where the market may pull back to a higher time frame zone or a higher base chart zone. Okay, but yeah, I mean, you're looking for opportunity within the market to scalp, and the trades that hold the most weight are the ones where it does pull back to a higher time frame or higher base zone first, and then we move down. Okay, that's what it's all about when it comes to how I actually trade. But again, structure is everything. You have to know which way to trade. But that's all I want to share with you guys today. Just some valuable information, some knowledge that may help you out in your own personal trading. Definitely watch some of the video content you can see, because I go in great detail here on the channel about so much information surrounding the strategy. Definitely structure. Okay, I'm always talking about that. And I also go into great detail about the difference between low probability setups and high probability setups, so you know the difference. What are we looking for? That imbalance resting right back at the zone. If the market is, say, bullish to the upside, let's say like today's session here, this was a nice push to the upside, aggressive buying back to the upside, and we have a very small, say, imbalance resting back at the zone, which we do here, very small. That's going to mark that or make that a high probability setup, the one in which I would wait for it to come back to in my higher time frame. Not saying that I can't catch a demand setup on the lower time frame as it's moving higher prior to it retracing the zone, because this may take some time, right? This is on a 120 range chart. It may take some time to come back to this zone. There could be structure where the market is starting to make lower lows and lower highs as it approaches the zone, and I have to be careful that there's resistance or supply resting right above. So, you know, I always need to know before I get into a trade where I can take it back to, or looking at price action, if I can even, or if it even makes sense to take that trade at all. Okay. So if we're bullish to the upside and then we start flipping back and I got this marked off as a key area demand, say for example, and now we start to, you know, make lower lows and lower highs, I'm going to be very, you know, cautious, because now the market could be trying to move lower to fill imbalances back down to the downside. But again, answers to just about all your questions will be answered if you spend time just going through the videos. All right. I can tell when people send certain comments or questions, whether they DM me or put it out there on YouTube. I could tell when they ask questions, you know, if they even spent time watching the video content, because the strategy is very simplistic. But the thing, again, you need to educate. I'm telling you, more than 90 to probably 95% of what you really need to master is the structure of the market. Once you can identify which way you need to trade, that's going to be game changing and make all the difference in the world for you. Learning a strategy surrounding like supply and demand, that's going to be so easy and a no-brainer once you master market structure. Okay. But that's all I have, guys. I just want to make it like you know, kind of a quick video talking about the things that I had to go through as far as jumping hurdles over to get, you know, to me where I want to be at, to becoming you know, successfully profitable and consistent with doing so. I'm sure a lot of you are struggling. I'm probably saying, hey, you know, one day I'm here, one day I'm there, I'm all over the place, whatever the case is, and you're trying to figure out how to become profitable. Trust me, in time, it gets better if you put the work in. That is the most important thing, is putting the work in. All right. But that's all I have. Outside of that, if you're interested in joining the Discord for free, it's down in the description portion of the video. The link is there. If you're interested in becoming either an elite or an ultra elite member, to where you can get all that additional video content, I'm talking about tons and tons of valuable information, you may want to think about becoming a elite member. Again, either elite or ultra. Down in the description portion of the video, there's a link there. Click on it. Once you do so, 3 tiers will pop up. So choose one of the latter tiers, either the second one to become a elite member, or if you want all the additional video content to where you're receiving the live recorded trading sessions, the video playlist, the market recap videos, the trade breakdowns, the great video that I covered on market structure. That's all pennies on $1 a day. That's the 3rd tier. That's the one you want to choose. It is the ultra elite supporter tier. Okay. You don't have to. I'm just telling you, anyone who wants to. All right. Now, how I trade, it may not be for you specifically. Okay. You may not be able to understand and read the markets, you know, the same way I do. That's the biggest thing about trading. And so many people are wrapped up in old ways and habits of what they may have learned, and they can't undo them. So they're still scouring the internet trying to find something that works for them, but they're still bringing those old habits and trying to merge things together. Trust me when I say this, you're going to have to unleash, and let all those things go, those habits go, to bad habits go, to really recreate the, I don't know, whatever it may be for you. You have to reinvent the wheel in a sense, to where you have to start fresh. Okay. Trust me, from scratch. I had to do that. All right. It took me 2 years to figure that out. But that's all I have, guys. I appreciate you tuning in and watching today's video. To all my beginner traders or newbies out there who are watching this video for the first time, please do me the biggest favor. Click the subscribe button down below if you haven't already done so. All right. And make sure to click on that bell as soon as you do, so that you never miss any of the uploaded information that I post. That's the post notification bell. Last but not least, if you haven't already clicked that like button, make sure to do so. I appreciate it. Take care. See everyone in the next one.